Hello everyone and welcome to my video about the ICTEFOL conference, the 4th International Conference on Innovative Practices and Research in Foreign Language Teaching. This conference took place on October 19th and 20th in 2023 in Monteria, Cordoba, Colombia. It was organized by the University of Cordoba, the University of Arizona, and the University of Arkansas, with a theme on the path to diversity and social justice. The conference aimed to explore how language teachers can promote inclusion, diversity, different ways of teaching, educate, and social justice in their classrooms and beyond. The conference had two main formats: keynote sessions and workshops. The keynote sessions were held at the Cultural Center Guillermo Valencia and they featured 5 speakers from different countries and backgrounds. They talked about various topics related to language education, such as critical literacy, technology, methodology, intercultural communication, and more. The workshops were held at the University of Cordoba and they offered practical and hands-on activities for language teachers to develop their skills and knowledge. On the first day of the conference, I attended 3 keynote sessions. The first one was by Dr. Beatriz Dupuy from the University of Arizona, and she talked about how to use critical literacy in project-based inquiry learning to foster critical global citizenship education. She showed some examples of how students can engage with global issues and perspective through language learning. The second keynote session was by Dr. Curtis Lee Magwan from the University of Arkansas, and he talks about how to use digital media and the gaming, such as video games and virtual reality, to create playful and inclusive approaches to teaching world languages and cultures. He demonstrated how these medias can expand our capacity to include and empower a diverse spectrum of students in their pursuit of language learning. The third keynote session was by Dr. Chantel Werner from the University of Arizona. She taught about how to design human-centered classrooms that respect and value learners' designs and desires. She challenged some of the dominant Western models of language teaching that impose a certain way of thinking and acting on learners from different cultures. At the end of the day, there was a cultural presentation that featured a traditional Colombian dance. It was very lively and colorful, and everyone enjoyed it.
Well, this event for me personally has been like a mind-blowing experience, because as a future teacher, hearing those 5 people talk about pedagogy and inclusivity and social justice is like an important lesson because we live in a diverse world and we cannot just have one methodology for the students because we are going to be interacting with different types of students, so we need to adapt. We need to have different methodologies for all of our students to learn. And also I like how they emphasize on diversity, from Black people to queer people to disabled people, and how all of our experiences matter, and how we need to be here and to take it into account when it comes to the educational area.
And do you recommend this kind of events to the newcomers, educators, or the future educators?
Of course, I recommend this event. It's just like a grateful experience.
On the second day of the conference, I attended a workshop and 2 keynote sections that were held at the University of Cordoba. The first workshop that I attended was by Dr. Curtis Lee Magwan again. He showed us how to use some online tools such as Miro to create interactive and collaborative activities for language learning. He also gave us some tips on how to design effective lesson plans and assessments using digital media. After the workshop, there was a section called Meet the Authors, where we met in depth with the speakers and talked about their projects. It was an amazing experience to learn more from them and ask them questions about their work. Later in the afternoon at the Cultural Center Guillermo Valencia, the 4th keynote session was by Dr. Veronica Ogel. She talked about how to explore the concept of social justice and diversity in the field of language learning. She examined some of the issues and contradictions that arise when applying this concept to language education. The 5th keynote session was by Dr. Elkin Javier Perez from the University of Arkansas, and he talked about how to use intercultural communication as a tool for language learning. He explained what intercultural communication is and how it differs from the other forms of communication. He also discussed how intercultural communication can help us understand ourselves and others better.
I think this conference was really great. I think it was well put together. The presenters presented very interesting topics. yeah, I think it was a good conference.
And which presentation do you like the most and why?
The last one from the second day where they talked about sexism in Latin America especially, I think was really interesting.
I think it was a very enriching experience that opened my mind to new perspectives and practices in language teaching. I learned a lot from the speakers and from the interactions with other participants. I also had fun watching some of the cultural activities that were organized by the conference committee. If you are interested in learning more about the ICTEFOL conference or watching any of the sections that I mentioned, you can visit their website or follow them on their social media channels. Thank you for watching this video and see you next time.